Shark! Swim for your life!
Hi guys, Aaron here, Curator for Jakarta Aquarium, where we have over 100 sharks from 7 different species. From the pelagic predators of the black-tipped reef sharks to the benthic bottom-dwelling zebra and nurse sharks. Sharks are a group of fishes known as elasmobranch, which means that their skeleton is comprised not of bone like us, but almost entirely of cartilage, the same material that makes up our nose and our ears. It's a very lightweight material that makes them very movable in water. Sharks are typically having between 5 and 7 gill slits on either side of their neck, and this allows them to extract oxygen from the water surrounding them. With a fossil record of over 400 million years, they technically outlived the dinosaurs, and so are a very diverse group of animals. Some of the largest fish in the sea, the whale sharks, reach a whopping 18 meters in length. Some of the smallest, such as the dwarf lantern sharks, a mere 22 centimeters when an adult. Some Greenland sharks are expected to live upwards of 300 years, and we now know that there are over 440 different species of shark alive today. Now let's find one of my favourite sharks. Let's go. Here we are at the ocean tank. So here we can see John in amongst 3 of his girlfriends. John is a tawny nurse shark. Sharks are vital in maintaining the health of our oceans. As apex predators, they predate on the sick and the weak fish and keep in check competition, increasing overall biodiversity. Without them, the biodiversity of our oceans would be almost nothing. Different sharks have very different needs, particularly in their feeding habit and diet. So, food preparation is a very important activity for us in an aquarium to ensure the absolute maximum health of all of our animals. Typically, a shark will not always be successful in its hunting. Sometimes it might be outwitted or outswum by the very fish and invertebrates it's trying to hunt. And so, in captivity, we must replicate this, and we do that through no-feed days. As such, we normally only feed our sharks 3 times per week. So the animals in the aquarium are provided a diverse menu, ranging from mackerel, herring, squid, crabs, mussels, and this is reflective of each different kind of shark's diet. And we can tell what shark eats what based on the mouth and the teeth type. So if we're looking at some of our black-tipped reef sharks, then we can see that they have very sharp razor teeth. And these are used for cutting through flesh. So we can see that they must be fish eaters. But if we look at our nurse, the zebra sharks, then you'll see that they actually more have crushing plates rather than sharp teeth. And this means that they use those crushing plates and these very powerful jaw muscles to break through thick shells and exoskeletons of the mussels and the clams and the crabs and the lobsters that they would eat. And so we must provide each different species of shark with the appropriate diet. Note here that we load all of our food with vitamins and supplements, and this is to maximize the health and the immune system of all our animals. Some of the common items that we introduce into the fish are cod liver oil, vitamin C tablets, sometimes B12, and garlic, and sometimes probiotics. We do have to hide them though from the sharks, as they don't always like to eat them. We do that by stuffing it inside the flesh of the fish. The method in which we feed our sharks is also really important. So for the agile, fast-swimming reef sharks, we surface feed them with our feeding pole. And we can do that because they are fast-swimming and very competitive. They can compete with all these fast-swimming reef fish and get the food no problem. But for our benthic dwelling sharks, the zebra and the nurse sharks, they won't come up to the surface like this. They're slow-moving animals. They predate on mussels and clams, crabs and lobsters. And so they're not used to competing for their food so much. So we must go down as divers and hand feed them underwater. Some of our sharks need a little bit extra help in getting their food. So that means that we must dive into the water to meet them. And that's where we'll offer the food to them by hand or by stick. In order to get into the water safely, we have to use the proper equipment. That being our scuba tank of compressed air that will provide us the air that we can breathe under the water. Our BCD, or buoyancy control device. And this little jacket connects to the scuba tank, allowing us to inflate or deflate so we can go up and down safely in the water. We also have our regulator with our first and second stages. This being the main regulator the diver uses to breathe, and the bright yellow one being our redundancy, just in case one of our buddies or we need a spare. So that we can see under the water, fins that we can kick, and a weight belt so we sink. At Jakarta Aquarium, we have a successful breeding program for our white-spotted and our banded bamboo sharks, as well as our coral king sharks. And here with me on my right hand side, we borrowed one of the babies from her nursery tanks, just for a moment. This is one of our white-spotted bamboo sharks, and you can see from her rough skin, she's what we call a carpet shark, meaning they're very, very good at sitting on the bottom of the ocean and crawling into the cracks and crevices of the rocky reef. And they do that so they can access the delicious shrimp and crabs and lobsters. And then they crush those shells and those exoskeletons to access the flesh inside. Sharks reproduce in a few different strategies, namely 3: oviparous, ovoviparous, and viviparous. In front of me, I have an example of the first type, oviparous. This means that the female lays one or several eggs, and these are self-contained little capsules that allow the developing embryo to grow independent of the parent. The female will lay her eggs mostly in the safety of the rocky reef or the kelp forest, and they're surrounded in these green tendrils, look like fabric, and they use this to anchor and adhere themselves to the rocks so that they can hide from predators. The gestation of the embryo is around 15 weeks, but at 4 weeks, we see a small crack opening in the lip of the egg case. And this allows new oxygenated seawater to flow inside and support the growing baby. At the end of a 15-week term, the baby will push its way out of that purse, what we call a mermaid's purse, and become a fully fledged pup. Using a dive torch, very briefly, we can safely inspect the shark egg. By shining the light in under the egg, we can see through the capsule and get a glimpse of the developing embryo. And we can see here that he's almost ready to hatch, as the yolk sac is almost gone. And if you look very closely, can you see the gills of the shark moving as he's breathing? New oxygenated seawater is coming in through that crack in the capsule and out again. Ovoviviparous is seen in species like sand tiger sharks, where an egg is created inside the female, but then the pup hatches out inside the womb, and from there it ventures out as a live birth. There is a phenomenon known as intrauterine cannibalization, where we see that a sibling shark inside the female that has hatched before all of its other brothers and sisters actually eats all of its siblings. This gives it an added advantage once it does venture out into the real world. The final method of reproduction that we see in sharks is viviparous, which is very similar to humans in that there is a placental growth, the baby develops inside the female and hatches out as a live birth. As a consumer, we can actually have a really big impact on the corporations that influence shark populations globally. And this goes beyond refusing to eat at a restaurant that serves shark and soup. Many products today use shark fin and shark products. Jakarta Aquarium welcomes you to come and see these animals for yourself. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Is it true or false that more humans were attacked by sharks? False. It's the other way around. In the battle between people and sharks, it's not even close. On average, humans kill about 100 million sharks around the world each year, with most targeted by commercial fishermen for their fins and flesh. What a shame. And only 5 cases per year for the shark's attack on humans. They have a bad reputation for nothing.